Manchester United opened the Premier League season with a narrow 1-0 over Wolverhampton Wanderers. Raphael Varane headed United in front in the 76th minute, much to the relief of the Old Trafford crowd on a night that should have seen Wolves comfortably win with the amount of chances they ended up squandering. Impressive overall debut for the Cameroonian. Made some fine saves with his feet, but was lucky not to concede a penalty in the last few minutes of the game after mistiming his catch. Wan-Bissaka, 8 out of 10. Looked really confident on the ball and was an offensive threat. He made a great 1v1 tackle which epitomized how well he'd covered both halves of the pitch. Finished off a good display with the cross that wins the game for United. Raphael Varane, 7 out of 10. The 76th minute winner boosts his rating in a game he struggled against the Wolves forwards for the most part. Lisandro Martinez, 5 out of 10. A forgettable performance for the Argentinian. Taken off at halftime after being turned over and cautioned in the first half. Struggled coping with the forward line. Luke Shaw, 6 out of 10. Not the most productive game for the left back, especially with the crossing. A yellow card meant that he was playing conservatively towards the end of the game. Victor Lindelof, 5 out of 10. Wasn't much of an upgrade to Martinez's performance in the second half. Casemiro, 5 out of 10. The Brazilian didn't look very match fit and was often exposed by his teammates. Grew ineffective as the game went on. Bruno Fernandes, 6 out of 10. Quite anonymous in this game, the early concern is Bruno's influence on the game in this midfield trio and how to stop it from diminishing. Mason Mount, 6 out of 10. Not the prettiest debut for the ex-Chelsea man. Put in a hard shift, but the quality was lacking tonight. Christian Eriksen, 7 out of 10. The intensity was heightened when he came on alongside Sancho. Put in a few good balls and added some balance and familiarity in midfield that we saw much of last season. Scott McTominay, N/R. Marcus Rashford, 4 out of 10. Playing in strike whilst Hodgland recovers from his injury is going to be a long few weeks for him and us. Struggled to get into the game, his poor first touch often let him down. Alejandro Garnacho, 4 out of 10. Ineffective game for the young teenager, usually is when he starts games. The vibrancy in his runs were there but came with very little end product. Antony, 4/10. The winger cut a frustrating figure for most of the game. Encouraging to see him use his weaker right foot more. His replacement, Sancho, was more effective in less than half an hour than Antony was for the duration of his game. Jadon Sancho, 8 out of 10. It was an impressive cameo from the bench for Sancho. If there was a game changer in this grueling match, he'd be the one. Would expect him to start against Spurs at the weekend. Facundo Pellistri, N/R.